Bigfoot encounter when I was 13.
It was June 3rd, 2003. It was about 11:30 at night, and it was me, my cousin Tom, and his friend Richie. We were camping down at my pond, and we hear a panther scream. And a few minutes later, we hear it again, and we hear this thud. I mean, it sounded like something just jacked it up, something just killed it. Then we hear this sound, like a loud inward moan, but it was like unbelievably loud. Like the second we all heard it, like we had no idea what it was, and it was just like roaring. It was angry. Like we all immediately just like freak out, and we're still sitting there. We're just like, what is that? And so we're just all like looking at each other, just wigging. And then like we just hear like this rustling. This thing was running down this ridge, and we're just like, oh my God, we're gonna die. I've never heard anything like it, and it's roaring. Like it was way too loud to be a bear. It sounded too big to be an elephant. So at this point, we're at a panic. Richie immediately started crying, just like that. He was crying. I'm hyperventilating and yelling. Tom's like so afraid, but he's trying to be the man, you know, so he grabs a rock and like he's gonna do something with it or something. So we make a break for it. I got on my four-wheeler, just took off, ran in my house, and I went and I grabbed my dad out of bed. I mean, it's like 12 by now or something. I went and like to where my mom and dad were, and I shook him. I was like, Dad, was that you? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, Dad, we just heard this crazy thing, and it was running after us. He's like, you just heard a raccoon. And I was like, what? It wasn't a raccoon. Like and like I was saying, it wasn't. I'm sure you're sitting there thinking, you just heard an elk, man. You heard an elk, or you heard a deer, you heard a black bear. You heard something just normal, you know. But I can assure you, it was nothing like anything that I've heard or seen. Like as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, maybe that was this or that. So I was like looking on the Discovery Channel. I was looking online, like looking up sound clips, and nothing. I've not found anything that even comes close to what we heard. Like anything. Like I've looked at every single possibility, and there's nothing. Except I did hear one sound, and it was on a Bigfoot documentary, and it was an unknown sound. Like they couldn't place it with any animal, and it didn't sound exactly like what we heard, but it was the closest thing I've ever heard. Like it was similar, and it was wild. Like I don't know.
Do I believe in Bigfoot? You know, I'm not sure. I'm divided on the topic. Certainly, there have been lots of sightings of Bigfoot in the United States and around the world, but I don't know that there's any hard scientific proof for the existence of Bigfoot. But when you look at the number of sightings people have had, I think we even have some pictures. I've never heard Bigfoot. I have seen people interview that say they have seen Bigfoot. So, can I prove that Bigfoot doesn't exist? I can't. I can't prove he doesn't exist. And so, I guess he may exist. I hope I will see him someday if he does exist. I think that would be exciting.
So if you could see Bigfoot again, or would you want to see Bigfoot again?
Yeah, I totally would. Now that I'm older and not like a little kid and terrified, I totally want to see it again. I'd kill it. I'd sell it to a museum. I'd be a millionaire.
Dark.